Hello, I'm Curtis Hamilton, and this is my module for the review of the interview with my principal over KISA. When talking to Mr. West, we discussed where we'd be starting on the years as far as KISA goes. You have the right to start anywhere within, and he said we decided to start on year 3. Our district felt that we had the foundation to implement many of the things that are needed, whether we were in modeling or whether we were in transitioning or we didn't show evidence, but we had the foundation between site councils and leadership teams and processes within our district that we could get to year 5 in a 2-year step. And so our district started with year 3. And so talking about each individual one as we went through, when we looked at relationships, he felt like we were transitioning in a lot of our different relationship things, and I'll talk a little bit about the ones that we have no evidence or implementing later when I do that. But a lot of it was a lot of the things that we felt that we were doing well with, or was having the processes to communicate with and build relationships with other stakeholders within our own district, as far as teachers, things like that. The things that we struggled with is making sure that we were engaging stakeholders outside as well. So we'll talk about that in the implementing part. He thought that we would be modeling in much of our responsive culture. He said as we go through the rubric, he felt like our responsive culture was modeling almost all the way through, and so that was one that we felt was one of the R's that we felt was very strong for us. When it comes to relevance, much of it was modeling. We felt that the family engagement and curriculum and relevance was something that we were really no evidence of our first year, but as we've worked through year 3, he felt like as we go into year 4, we will have a lot more evidence of that, especially since we are now, again, since we've put in career cruising and the IPSs, that kind of helps with engaging the parent more in the curriculum of the student, but then also getting the ideas of what parents want and students want within that, and that's going to help us actually in the relevance part as well, not just doing the IPS. So we're building in parts there that's going to help us with the family engagement and the curriculum. And then when it comes to responsive culture, again, he felt like that was a really big modeling part of ours. And then as far as rigor, that is a big transition for us. We are starting to put in more, especially at the high school level, putting in more AP, putting in more college classes, even though we had some, just ensuring that rigor is there. But then also the idea of getting more engagement from our community in the actual rigor of our school. And so one thing that we're going to talk about now, let's go ahead and get into things that we found we were weak in. One of them was in rigor, and that was with community involvement with businesses. And that's something we talked about for quite a bit of a time, and how you actually get that working. And a big part of that is pathways. As we start working with pathways, how can we engage the businesses? And so if it was me implementing it, my suggestion was have professional development days in which business owners, business people in the community come in and actually teach teachers or discuss with teachers the wants of businesses within the community, but also build those relationships. That's going to help us be able to reach out. It's always easier to reach out when you have those relationships already built. And then also another implementing thing for us is we implemented the IPS system in the last year or so we're starting to get to learn that. And then we have very little evidence of family engagement in our evaluations. He felt like that was a very weak part, as far as just picking a few that we felt that was something that we had no evidence of that we're actually working towards in year 3 and 4. And so if having some sort of family engagement in evaluations, we actually lack that completely. And so they've started adding that as part of showing communications, being able to show how we engage the families of each student in our actual classrooms and things like that, and making that part of our teacher evaluations. And then, so looking at his leadership style, Mr. West's leadership style, I was kind of in between being a scientific management type leader and a transformational, and I think it kind of depends on the time. I think it's kind of mixed, but I'd say overall he's probably a transformational leader. He has the ability to put out a goal and entice others to get to that goal and to give the support and things necessary for that. But at times he does get into the kind of the scientific management type in which he is using data and using processes in order to ensure that the goal that he wants to meet is working and going along the way he feels it is. And so looking at those, that is my module 4. Thank you.